What up, YouTube? About to shoot a new video by request, how to roll a bounce house water slide combo, tight AF. I'm Nick Glassett, owner of the Jump Off. Let's get rolling. So we got our combo, it's all clean, ready to go. So I'm gonna go shut the blower off and have it come down, and then I'm gonna show you how we fold the walls, which is one of the keys that most people don't know, is how you fold this wall in, how you fold these pillars in, is how you get a nice tight roll. So I'm gonna go turn off the blower. All right, I'm gonna show you a couple quick things here. Okay, so as it deflates, typically speaking, this combo, the walls will both fall this direction, which is a good thing. Now, if you look in here, you'll notice the slide fell way to the side too. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and get that slide back to center is the first thing. So I'm just going to pull on this a little bit so I can get to my slide and then get it back to center. The main reason I'm doing this is inside of here, right here, I've got the ladder in there. It's made of PVC pipe. So I want that in the center. All right, and then one of the main keys here is how we're gonna fold these walls. So watch this. So I'm gonna bring this wall all the way across and get it flat. Not rocket science here, just get the air out of it. Nice and flat. Then we're gonna pull this other wall right back across the top of it, like that. As I step this flat and get all the air out of it, it's what's gonna let us get a super good, nice tight roll on this. Looking from the back of the bounce house, our next step is the pillars of the bounce house. So what we're gonna do is, in the same order that I lay those walls flat, we're gonna pull these flat. So just kind of pull them at a diagonal, get it nice and flat. And then I'm just gonna pull this one back across it, get it nice and flat. And then just pay extra attention here to anything that's bulky, just get it flat. So I'd rather take an extra 20 seconds to make sure everything's looking good than rush through it and have some big floppy ugly roll. A nice tight roll, A, looks better, which if you're like me, you like it to be aesthetically pleasing. B, way easier to move. So for me, I've got 2 storage units that I run the Jump Off out of, so it's gotta go on that trailer over to the storage unit, and then it goes up in the storage unit up on pallets. When they're rolled tighter, I can fit more units into storage, and then they're easier to move. You know, and then the last thing is when you've got a nice tight roll, your inflatable is a little bit more protected because there's nothing hanging out, there's nothing floppy. It's not gonna be falling over on concrete or potentially falling over onto the sharp metal pieces of the trailer tongue, you know, so a nice tight roll helps prolong the life of your inflatables. Okay, so we got our front pillars nice and flat. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our back 2, we're gonna do something a little different with these. You take this wall and you actually pull it forward. So as you pull it forward, you want to tuck your mesh under so you can protect it, and then bring that across. Again, the straighter, the better, nice and flat. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here with my front. So tuck my mesh, bring this across, okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna do is pull this top wall a little bit flat, and then stamp all the air out of this. Okay, now that we got everything nice and flat and neat, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold our bounce house together. Okay, so I do this in a specific way. First thing I do is I take the side with the stair. I'm gonna fold my stair in. Then I just grab it right at the edge and pull it across, just like that. Okay, now we're gonna pull our other side. You'll notice a couple things here. So I'm standing on the bounce house and pulling this across, okay? I'm not standing up at the corner trying to throw it. You don't get a very good fold that way. What you want to do is hold the edge of it and pull across in one big pull. You'll get a better fold every time. Sink in my crease. Straighten it out over here where it pulls. Okay, so then this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down, hold it with my right foot, and crease with my left. So just get a nice, good crease in, get it flat. The reason I fold the stair side first, then the back of the bounce house over is 2 reasons. Number 1, keeps my blower tube and my vent right on the top. So as I roll, air's coming out. Second reason is if this bottom of the front is dirty and I fold over like this and I fold the back on top of it and it gets the back of the bounce house dirty, I'm not that concerned really because nobody sees the back of the bounce house the way they see the front. So the front's fully protected, clean on clean, then I roll the back onto dirty. Okay, now I'm gonna put my hose inside. I like to curl it up inside the pool. I always try to hang the end out so I'm not dripping water inside my bounce house. And then we're just gonna fold the slide to match so it's a nice straight line all the way down. Again, I'm just gonna walk down, crease, hold my left foot, crease my right. Setting a nice straight line. So then this is nice and even. So that way when your roll is done, it's nice and flat. You don't have either concave or a bunch of parts sticking out like this. Your roll ends up flat when your line is straight. Okay, we're gonna do the other side, and this side is much smaller of a fold here. Sink your crease in nice and tight. Take an extra 30 seconds to get that crease set in there. You get a better roll, pays off in the end. Okay, so to give you an idea of what it looks like, all the way down, nice and even. So there, bounce house and slide are all set. Last but not least, we'll go fold in this pool. Pool is skinnier than everything else, so nothing really overlaps. There we go. Okay, now we got our pool folded in. The reason I roll this with the pool out, most people will flip their pool in. The reason I fold it with the pool out is because the pool is so thin that I can get a nice tight roll in the beginning. Like think of rolling a sleeping bag. The whole sleeping bag's roll depends on how tight you start. Inflatable is the same way. So this pool is easy to get nice and tight. So then by the time I get to the slide part, which is still pretty thin, I've got a roll going like this big and I have some momentum I can work with and just get it tight, tight, tight. By the time this thing is done, you're going to be shocked how small it is. We're gonna tuck in the straps, make sure they're inside, and then as I go, I'm putting downward rotational force on the roll. That's what gets it nice and tight. Okay, I'm to the slide here. So there's a seam I can hold on to, so I can hold on to it like that, sink it way in there, make sure and get it nice and tight. And then as I go, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it with my hand like this, so that both moves the air out of it and pulls in the vinyl. And we're gonna roll. Then we get to this next part. I'm gonna push it in like that, roll. Push it in, roll. Now this part's got some air, so I'm gonna nice and tight. There we go. All right, now I'm to a crucial part because I got a big roll started, and then I am to the bounce house, which is the heaviest, thickest part, okay? So I'm gonna teach you a couple quick tricks. So trick number one, what I do is I've got the slide held here with my knees, so when I start a roll, I can give myself a boost with my toes or my calves, okay? The other thing we're gonna do, the way you're gonna hold this, you're gonna hold right here, so you can roll and use that downward pressure to keep it tight. So boost with the toes, downward pressure, okay? So you're gonna go. Okay, now we're to a part where the roll is getting big and I'm going over the thickest part, okay? I'm gonna teach you another trick. So same thing, we're gonna grab here just like this. We're still going downward rotational force. I've still got my knees under it, okay? So I can give myself a little boost with the knees, but I'm gonna push it with my chest. So I'm actually gonna use my chest, and I'm just holding with my hands and my shoulders, but all the work is in my legs and my quads. It's like a squat, okay? So like that. See if I can get a little better angle of it. So chest goes into it like this, okay? Chest goes into it, and then it's all legs. Now we're just gonna finish our roll all the way down. All right, now I'm gonna show you how we end this party. So I'm gonna take this end of the bounce house and flip it up. I'm gonna take my rolling straps, set them on there, nice and evenly spaced. We're gonna let this fall back down. And as you'll notice, I still have my blower tube hanging out here so I can get air out of it. So I'm just gonna step on it one last time, make sure it's nice and flat. We're gonna tuck our blower tube. We're gonna go about to there. Then we're gonna tuck this up under, okay? So the reason we do this, so this is all the bottom of the bounce house. So everything that's exposed is the bottom of the bounce house. This is the outside, like the part that you can see. It's all tucked up under and is protected. Sink that in. Roll her up. Boom. Then you just take your straps, pull them through, flip them over, and you can sink them in. Nice and tight. Now when I sink these in nice and deep, this one cinched down a lot and really squoze the bounce house down. This one did not, very, very firm. That means this is the side I'm gonna flip up and keep the bottom, because this side's firmer, more heavy. Then I'm gonna take my slack here, I just go in half, in half, in half, stick a knee into the bounce house, tuck it under the strap, stick it under the strap, bang, there you go. We are done. You're nice and rolled. This thing is going nowhere. It is super sturdy, super stable, super tight. Give you a little glimpse here of what it looks like. That is a good roll right there, dude. Good roll. Time to get this sucker on the trailer. Booyah. Boom. Now we're done. Thank you so much for watching this video. If it brought you any value, do me a huge favor. Tap that subscribe button. If you really love me, you own a bounce house company, you need more advice, hit the bell, wherever it is. Wherever it is, find that bell, hit it. Thanks. Love you. See you in the next one. Peace out. Ah!